Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Delighted to be here and talking about Gati Shakti. I will, before I start, I'll just take half a minute to talk about Gati Shakti because there are, some friends from abroad, so they need to understand what Gati Shakti talks about. Gati Shakti, to my mind, Gati Shakti is not a platform or it's not a, just a plan. It's a mind shift. It's a paradigm shift. A reason for that is very simple. 16 ministries have been brought on the board, and the work of these ministries start from the pre-planning stage. Even at a planning stage, when we are laying the road, when we have to deploy a gas pipeline, when we have to do any sort of work, I think the platform talks about it, and it is clearly visible. It is visible on a portal. So on that portal, you can plan what needs to be done. How can I add value rather than, doing a postmortem? Now, just to give you some idea about the scale of Gati Shakti, and that scale is 11 industrial corridors are being built. From a railway perspective, 1,600 million tons of capacity is being created. From a gas perspective, from a 17,000 kilometers of gas pipeline, by 2025, it will be around 35,000 kilometers of fiber. Transmission lines, from a level of 2 lakh circuit kilometers, it will be 4.5 kilometer circuit kilometers. Why am I quoting these figures? Because these are very, very ambitious plans. How these plans are going to help a common man in ease of living, ease of doing business, and how it is going to help all of us, from a telecom operator perspective. Let me spend a minute onto that. When we are saying we want to lay fiber underground, now for laying fiber underground, if we know that somebody is building a state highway, somebody is building a national highway, we can latch onto them and then plan accordingly so that a common man does not feel any difficulty or he does not suffer. Now, where are we picking up these practices? Some of the best practices, my esteemed panelists spoke around that. Across the world, there are many, many good practices which other countries are doing. And we need to definitely look at those practices so that we can use those practices which can come handy for us in implementing the plan. Just to give you a few examples. In Japan, they have just a single sign. They have allowed all the electrical poles or the lights, traffic lights, where we can deploy 5G small cells. In Egypt or in Singapore, all the rooftops, the building rooftops are available for the telecom operators to deploy the sites. So you don't require any permission. Even the developers, when they are developing the buildings, I think they are keeping that space so that, in the same context, what we require here is that all the government, if there is a government land in the state, all the government land and buildings should be available. Rather, we should make, the way Singapore has done, we should allow that this is a space for a telecom operator where they can deploy the site so that it's very easy to bridge the gaps which we see, whenever there are call drops, we can bridge those gaps. Now, how this is going to help the economy as such, as Honorable Prime Minister or the Minister of Communication, they are envisaging it? I think it is very, very simple. Earlier we were laying the highways, now we are laying the digital highways. When the digital highways and the kind of corridors or the kind of textile hubs or the manufacturing hubs are being laid, I think this is going to give a huge boost, not only to the state GDP, but to the entire country. Because a lot of, associated industries are going to mushroom in and around those hubs. This will definitely, help all of us. Now, what has happened in telecom infrastructure? Have we got some kind of help? Have we seen some kind of improvement? I'll say a lot of that. My dear friend, talked about that what has happened in terms of the new rules which has come in August. I will just say the PM Gati Shakti Sanchar portal, that has made our life very simple. Earlier, for the TSPs, we were applying, applications which are moving on a paper. Now, there is a single portal where as a TSP, our state circles are applying, and at a center, I can see the entire, wherever as a state-wise, where we have applied, what is the kind of, pendencies there, what applications have been rejected. And just to give you live example, before coming to the dais, I was looking at the Gati Shakti Sanchar portal. Around 100,000 applications have been filed by all the TSPs. Almost 46,000 applications have been cleared. 30,000 applications have been rejected. 26,000 applications are pending for approval. I mean, that is the kind of transparency. That is the kind of, empowerment which all of us as operators have done. I mean, this is amazing task. And it's no mean feat that, getting all the 16 ministry on a single portal and you can really see what is happening to your applications. Earlier, this was a completely opaque space. Similarly, National Broadband Mission from DOT, they are helping us build an application, rather they have built and it's in the beta stage, is click before you dig. We used to feel a lot of harassment. I'm using the word harassment because anybody who comes, he digs a road for laying a gas pipeline or laying a waterwork pipeline, and we used to get hit by, the fiber used to cut, and end customer used to suffer. Now, similar to what US has done on 811, where you have to dial the number that you want to do this work, and click before you dig. All the digital infrastructure of all the PSUs have been laid out. And if you have to work on any point, I'm saying point A to point B, you have to simply put it on that app, and that app, all the messages to all the stakeholders who are involved in that area, be it waterworks, be it electrical underground line, the message will go to them so that they can take care of their assets. So this is amazing stuff which is happening across. And I am very, very sure, the original thought of doing the Gati Shakti, because we wanted to connect all the airports, railway stations, and airports to reduce our logistics cost. I am very sure the way it is happening, the digital infra, our logistic cost, which is probably one of the highest in the world at around 13 to 14%, that is going to get reduced to 8 or 9, which is one of the best, so that we become competitive, and the dream of saying 5 trillion economy by 2030, that will be achieved. Thank you so much.